Well, thank you for always keeping it locked on this dial. So sorry for starting the show very late this morning. It's because of some circumstances beyond our control. We apologize and we are so sorry. But we are right back on top of it. Now we're going to start the show properly right now. How are you doing, Abuja? My name is Ekene Ezepue, and this is how I welcome you on the newspaper headlines segment this morning. How are you doing? Hope you're going about your new week with a positive mindset. Right, that's what really matters. No matter what you do this week, try and approach it with a very wonderful, positive mindset. And I promise you that the day and the week will go on so smoothly for you. I promise you that. All right. Now, other people will say, put God first. Will you do that for me? Put God first this week, all right? And at the end of the week, by the end of Friday, you'll be so happy you did. All right, let's hit the ground running right now and hit the Point newspaper this morning to extract some of the headlining stories right there. This one says what Nigeria must do, what Nigeria must do to halt free fall of Naira. Economists said so. There are so many writers on that story. It says the many policy errors of CBN under Emefiele. The other writer says why National Assembly should amend CBN Act, and Wale Edu up to the task if given free hand. All the stories are what's the Point newspaper have for you this morning. So you have to go and pick a copy of it and do justice to all some of these headlining stories right there. And this one says APC support group coordinator accused of multi-million naira Hajj scam promises to refund victims soon. You want to know more about that story? If you're a victim, grab a copy of the Point newspaper and know what it's saying this morning. And then from Point newspaper, okay, this one says judiciary on trial as allegation of bribery amongst judges persists. This one is right there on the Point newspaper this morning. Grab a copy, do justice to this particular headlining story. Now, this one says Tinubu appoints Niger Delta minister, reassigns portfolios. This one is another developing story. You want to know more about it? This reshuffle. Try and grab a copy of the Point newspaper this morning and do justice to that story. And this one says fear mounts nightlife. Fear mounts nightlife disappearing as cult group renew deadly wars in Oshun. You want to know more about that story? Grab a copy of the Point newspaper this morning. Now let's go straight to the Vanguard newspaper and extract and know what Vanguard newspaper is saying this morning. And on Vanguard newspaper, this one it says on Niger Republic, it says ECOWAS rejects junta's 3-year transition plan. Okay. This one has a lot to do with what is happening in Niger Republic at the moment, and a whole lot is going on, and it looks as if the juntas are making demands, and one of them is for ECOWAS to give them 3 years to be able to plan for transition of power. But you want to know more about that story? Grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper, do justice to that story, know what is happening in Niger Republic, all right, and everything that surrounds that particular ousting of the former president, Bazoum. Now, this one says, stop Wike, Oyetola Umahi orders his life pension. Serap tells Tinubu whether the president have the power to do this, I don't know. But if you want to know more about that story, please pick a copy of the Vanguard newspaper and know what it's saying this morning. Brutally frank, many governors wealthier than their states. This one is coming from Edwin Clark, Chief Edwin Clark, saying that many governors are wealthier than their states. You want to know more about that story? Grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper and do justice to that headlining stories right there. Now, private car owners turn commercial to augment fuel money. This one is actually the reality, most especially in the Federal Capital Territory and most city centers in the country. But what do you want them to do actually? The fuel price is on the high side, and people wants to commute. People wants to go to work. People wants to go from this point to another point, and to make sure that they get this desired fuel that they need to run around. They have to pick up passengers from time to time to make sure that they face the reality on ground, because actually fuel price is on the high side and people wants to commute. People must commute. People must go about their lawful businesses. People must fend for their families, and that's what the reality on ground is. So they have to pick up passengers, and that's what this particular story is talking about. So pick up a copy of Vanguard and know more on this particular story. Now, this one says Nigeria's debt profile up 410% in 8 years. Man is a Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. So pick a copy of Vanguard newspaper and know what this particular story is talking about Nigeria's debt profile. All right, it's going up, and it's not something that the country should smile about. But from the removal of fuel subsidy and the savings thereof, people are beginning to feel like, okay, enough money should be saved, and some of these debts, governments will start clearing some of these debts so that Nigeria will be better for it. Now, let's move straight to this one. And it says, World Mosquito Day. Reps urge FG to declare state of emergency on malaria. Okay. What are those steps? Want to know about it? Grab a copy of Vanguard newspaper. But you know that this menace of mosquito and the kind of havoc malaria can cause to you. Many people actually look at hepatitis B, HIV as one of the deadly diseases, but malaria is too. Malaria is. If we can nip mosquito, the menace and the kind of havoc mosquitoes are wreaking in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole too. You understand? It will bring the spread of malaria to a standstill, honestly. And people are dying on a daily basis, from this particular ailment. And it's high time the government. What are the causes of this thing? Stagnant waters, all over the place, and dirty environments, and all over. So how can we get our environments fumigated from time to time and all that? Then we can be able to start coming out from this menace that mosquitoes are wrecking in Nigeria. People are dying. That's the most important aspect of it. People are dying, and people can't continue dying like that. Now let's move away from that story, head straight to this one that says energy crisis. Is on energy crisis. It says cost of solar system rises 120% to 550,000 as forex inflation worsen. All right, you want to know about that story on energy crisis? Grab a copy of Vanguard and know what that story is saying. Of course, people have over time resorted to the use of solar energy to generate power. But I don't know how far this development is going. It's as if many houses in Nigeria, some percentage of Nigerian homes have it, while some majority doesn't. So if this particular development can be accessible to all, I think most of these problems of power outages and all that will be a thing of the past. But let's just leave that story. But if you want to know more about that story, grab a copy of Vanguard News, but that's where we are reading it from. And this one says, alleged murder of driver by soldiers Okay, investigation ongoing. That's what the army is saying. Alleged murder of driver by soldiers. Investigation is ongoing. That's what the army is saying this morning. And if you're interested on that story, please pick a copy of Vanguard and know what the military is saying concerning that alleged murder of driver by soldiers. All right. On Niger Republic, it says Tinubu-led ECOWAS will backfire. Archbishop Chukwuma. Okay, you want to know what that story is all about, the in-depth of that story, please pick a copy of Vanguard newspaper. Now, on this note, we head straight to another national daily to extract more for your listening pleasure. When we return from our short break, I will be doing justice to another national daily. Please stay with us. We'll be right back, all right? All right, we're back now. Let's go straight to the Punch newspaper this morning, and this one says what we expect of new minister. Labour leaders are saying so. Of course, there's a lot of expectations from the new ministers. If there's anything that they can start doing, is they should hit the ground running. They should hit the ground running and start preparing solutions to some of our economical problems. That's what we want them to start doing, right? Many things that will start, any development or any idea that will make Nigerians that will pull Nigerians out of poverty is what I think that the new cabinet members and the new ministers should be looking at this moment, because there's a lot that they need to do in the economic sector of the country. Now, let's peruse and see what some of these headline stories are. This one says FG prioritizes economy, security as ministers take oath today. All right, the ministers will be taking oath of office today, and if there is, like I said earlier on, if there's anything Nigerians are looking forward to, is to have a good running and to start looking at our economy. They have to put our economy into perspective and see how they can be able to, provide solutions that will better the lives of Nigerians. Nigerians are actually yearning for more. Now, you can't really blame the president, because some of these ministers need to be in the office to start helping out in their own various capacities, to start helping out in their own various sectors. So by the time we now checkmate, maybe in a couple of months, and then we can now say, okay, we are better for it. This is where we are, and we are okay. Now the country is moving forward. Now you can't really blame anybody until this minister assumes office, right? So understand it that way. Okay, now let's move forward. This one says syndicate spread fraud, issues fake results to desperate admission seekers. All right, this one actually have to do with parents and the desperation of people trying to issue fake results to desperate admission seekers. Parents trying to get their wards into the university. They have to really, do the right thing. By the time people notice that you're desperate, they can easily take advantage of you. Of course, it's not hard to send somebody that is desperate for anything. But once you're desperate, people take advantage of you. So you have to make sure that your wards or your children are properly that they get the kind of education that they need to stand for any exams. Yes. By the time you try to make them to read. Of course, during our days we have to read for exam. Our parents will just turn the other way and make sure that we use the lights. That when the lights are on, they know that we need those lights to read. Those are the areas that they use to help us to read. So if you can as well do that, this present day's parents, try as much as you can to encourage your wards to start reading. All right. By the time they read, they can stand for any exams. That's what I promise you. All right? Yeah. Don't try to buy results and all that. Try to be desperate, and then at the end of the day, people will defraud you, and then you start crying. And one of these things, when you go around using illegal means to get your words, good results, what it means is like when it backfires, you can't even complain. You can't complain because all of you are in the same illegality together. So who are you going to complain to? So the money will just go down the drain. So try as much as we can. Let's try as much as we can to make sure that we do the right thing as Nigerians. All right. Now let's leave that story like that. Leaked memo: DSS arrest Abuja Kaduna train manager. Right. Let's read the first paragraph of that story. Last week we read something that has to do with a security threat. This week, let's know what this particular story is all about. Let's know if it's related to that last story, the one we read for you last week. Now, this one says the first paragraph says the Department of State Services has arrested the manager, Abuja Kaduna Train Services, Pascal Nnoli, following the leak of a memo warning of the possible terror attack on the Abuja Kaduna Railway. A reliable source in the Nigerian Railway Corporation told our correspondent on condition of anonymity that the manager was arrested along with the operations manager, Victor Adamu, and other staff members. The Punch had reported that the DSS last Wednesday issued a security alert to the Nigerian Railway Corporation on a plot by bandits to attack the Abuja Kaduna train link at any possible time. In a memo signed by the director of the DSS FCT Command, RN Adekpemu, the secret police want train passengers to be security conscious. All right, that's how far we can go on that story. Now, you know that is related to that last week security notice that DSS released to the general public. Let's leave it that way and move straight to this one. Parents, teachers bemoan poor facilities in Ogun school. All right, this one is coming from parents. They feel like the situation of schools in Ogun State is very, very poor. And I wish the government of Ogun State would do something about it and restore back these schools to where it's supposed to be. Now, let's move to this one. U.S. court jails Nigerian others for 2.6 million naira fraud. You want to know more about that story? Remember that we're still reading from the Punch newspaper this morning. Grab a copy of it and do justice to that story. This one says Nigerian players abroad getting into the groove. Okay. Nigerian players abroad getting into the groove simply means that they are playing well. Okay. Of the new season. You know, the season just started, and a whole lot of expectations from Nigerians as regards to their compatriots plying their trade outside the country. They wish that they would do better than what they did last season, and that's our prayers too. So Osime, you know what Osime did last season, and a whole lot of other Nigerian players. So we wish that they can repeat the same. Osime was actually the highest goal scorer in Italy. So, and Nigerians are yearning for more, of course. Oliver Twist. Now let's leave it that way. Miscreants. This one is on miscreants. It says miscreants traders take over multi-million naira Lagos bus stops. Okay, let's know what that story, the first paragraph of that story is talking about. Let's see if our people are safe. Most of the multi-million naira bus stop shelters erected in some parts of Lagos State to serve the state's numerous commuters are no longer being utilized by those that they were meant to serve. All right. Punch Metro investigation has revealed. Okay, I wish Lagos State will rise up to this occasion and do something to ameliorate some of these problems as regards to transportation. Now, This one is on Niger. ECOWAS rejects junta's 3 years transition. We read it earlier on Vanguard newspaper, and it's reappearing on Punch newspaper again. So it's something to take note of. Grab a copy of Punch newspaper this morning and know what that story is talking about in detail. Now, let's go straight to the Guardian newspaper this morning and know what the Guardian have for us. It says NDLEA uncovers 4.8 billion worth of opioids in Lagos warehouse. Okay, people are dealing in drugs in Nigeria. There was a sad story that we heard over the weekend, and it wasn't a good story coming from the entertainment industry. A Nigerian artist, I don't want to mention the name, is already walking the street, and people are suspecting that this might be as a result of substance abuse. And these are okay, because he's just a popular person. That's why that one went viral. So what about the ones that we don't really know? What about the ones that happens on a daily basis? We are gradually losing our youth to drugs. That's what it means. So anytime that we hear NDLEA apprehends drug syndicates, it's something to applaud them for. You know, it's something to be happy for. It's something to cheer them for. You know, if this thing keeps going on, very soon we'll lose the large percentage of our youth to drugs, and then who will now take over the reins of power when the time comes? Okay, let's just leave it that way. I believe that parents should start doing something about their words. Don't look at your children as if they are bigger than you. Know where they are going. Not the kind of friends they keep, because this thing starts from that adolescent age, when they start telling you, no, mommy, don't talk to me. That's when those things are cropping up. So you have to nip it in the bud that time. Your child can be bigger than you, you know. So let's just leave it that way. Now, Nigerian, Egypt, 8 others to contest for Paris 2024 tennis tickets. Okay, who is going to host 2024 tennis tickets? That's what Nigeria and Egypt and 8 others are vying for. Okay. If you want to know more about that story, grab a copy of the Guardian newspaper and know, of course, you know that this thing has a lot to do with social activities. If you host such tournaments, it has a lot to do with remuneration, with revenue and all that. It has a lot to do with boosting your revenues. People that have hosted World Cups can bear me witness on this. So now let's leave this one at that and hope that Nigeria will clinch it to host the tennis Paris 2024 table tennis tickets. Okay, tournament. Riverine communities seek inclusion in palliative plans. Okay, when you're being chased out of your house, you're not living in your house, your heads are not working properly, I think you need palliative. And that's what these people are saying. Riverine communities seek inclusion in palliative plans, because most of the time, once these rivers overflows, those people encounters kind of the borders actually, or whatever that hosts the river, get busted, and then the water enters into their house and chases them away from their various houses. So I think those people should be included in these palliative measures that the government is taking this time around. I'm just saying it because if you ever been in such situation, you will understand. You know that these people actually deserve it. So let's leave it out that way and hope that the necessary authorities takes action on this. Now, 7 states in dire straits, economic losses over border closure. Okay, ripple effects of economic sanctions on Niger Republic are rocking at least 7 Nigerian states bordering the south of Niger. Okay, in the 3rd week of the political and economic tension, about 8.5 million Nigerians living in border towns and communities have continued to count. Okay, that's how far we can go on that story. Grab a copy of the Guardian newspaper, because you know there's hardship for the people that normally have a kind of a business relationship with people from the other side of the divide. That's talking about the Niger Republic, people that borders them. So you want to know more about that story, the kind of hardship they are facing for the closure of those borders. Grab a copy of the Guardian newspaper and know what that story is talking about. Now, getting economy out of woods. The task before Wale Edu, such a Herculean task. I believe that the man is equal to the task. Father love enough about him, and we hope that he does something very nice for the Nigerian economy. Now, this one says concerns over effect of naira depreciation on real estate industry. Concerns over effect of naira depreciation on real estate industry. Want to know about something about this particular story? Let's just read the first paragraph and see how naira depreciation has affected the real estate industry. Now, the real estate and construction sector have continued to grapple with multiple effects of depreciation in the country's naira value as cost of raw materials, labor, and transportation and contracts skyrockets. Of course, it's expected that it will definitely affect it. The price of everything will go on, transportation will go up. This is not a good time. There is always a good time to build houses, but this time around, if you want to build houses, you know that you should be very, very prepared for it. Let's leave that story like that. Grab a copy of the Guardian newspaper and know what that story is talking about. Now, between reality shows and flawed education reward system, okay? Just like comparing Big Brother, Niger, and our educational system, the kind of reward that they are getting. This one will get education, first class, or whatever, or highest in WAEC or UTME. You get 1 million naira, just like that, nothing more. But when you get naked, and that's what people are saying, when you get naked in Big Brother Niger, you get house, you get a whole lot of rewards. How do we balance this? Okay, let me not just talk more. Big Brother Niger is somebody's business, and people are advertising, people are making a killing from it. So I don't know how far I can go, but I feel like the education, the kind of reward that people give these people should that those kind of rewards should equally be given to people that come tops in the education sector. The kind of those kind of rewards should be given to them as well. Give them houses. What about that? You give them those mouth-watering money that you give all those people that come tops in Big Brother Niger. I'm not condemning Big Brother Niger. It has changed lives. I don't know. I've seen poor people go there, came out rich. So, and those poor people are coming from people's houses. So it simply means that if they will change the fortunes of their family. So let me just leave that story like that. So we need to judge things from different perspectives so that we come up with a good we'll balance it. All right. Now let's just Kaura commends Tinubu for appointing Matawale as State Minister of Defense. All right, let's leave this story and see what we can be able to extract from the Nation newspaper this morning, and then we'll call it a day on reading out segments, and then go straight to the discussion segment. And we have this one that says Tinubu reassigns Oyetola to Marine, Momo to Niger Delta. Okay, Momo is from Edo State, and I think it's Edo State is under Niger Delta now. Okay, I think it's a good one. Now, you want to know more about that story? Grab a copy of the Nation newspaper and know how this reshuffling is going on. Now, cleric seeks support for O2. I don't really know, but let's just leave that story and read this one that says boat builders make case for riverine dwellers. Okay, let's see how this one is going to pan out or maybe help our people in the riverine areas. That's what we are all about, trying to see rich stories that will affect the lives of our people. The Marine Craft Builders Association of Nigeria, boat builders, has advocated the inclusion of riverine dwellers in the federal government's subsidy removal palliatives to cushion their challenging transportation needs following the deregulation of petroleum sector. Okay. Now is a good one. Simply means that someone is taking up their course and is presenting it before Mr. President. All right, I think that's how far we can go. Justin, gunmen reportedly killed 5 in Plateau. Not a good story. Not a good story at all. But let's just leave it that way and go straight to our analysis properly with Mr. Salmon Salami. Mr. Salmon Salami, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Ekene, and I wish us a very wonderful week.
Hope the cold is not getting the better part of you.
We won't allow it.
Okay. Okay, let's hit the ground running. Stop Wike Oyetola Umahi, others life pension. Sarah tells Tinubu life pension is coming up this time around. So how do we approach this? It doesn't mean that as a governor you don't deserve life pension as a former governor.
Well, how do we start this? A governor, after spending 8 years as governor with all the perks, with everything, and a civil servant after spending 35 years, still waiting for his entitlement. Honestly, I think governors are made already. And I don't think they should continue to live on the people, even after office. We need money. There are so many people who are languishing after spending the better part of their lives serving this country. We have read it. There are some governors are even wealthier than their states. Edwin Clark, I think, said that. And I think that the emphasis today should be on the common man. Let the common man breathe.
Okay, let the common man breathe. The word of Mr. Salmon Salami. Now, when you say that they should cut off former governors' pensions, what it means is that in the other way around, you're trying to tell them to steal while in office. Like, if they have nothing to fall back on after office, that's a normal thing that is expected. You know, that's why that particular structure of pensions for them was designed. But when they know that they have nothing to fall back on, they will steal the whole state dry. Don't you think it was a good initiative? But maybe the way they are going about it is not okay.
The distinction I'm trying to make is this: any governor who is now a minister should not assess his pension.
Okay,
that is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
pension is good because they must live on something after office. But if immediately after leaving office as a governor and you are appointed or elected as a minister, you are appointed as a minister, then that will be double. There is no way you'll be drawing pension and yet you are still taking salary as a minister. One should go for, at least for now, you either stick to your salary as a minister, which I believe is what makes sense. But by and large, governors should take reasonable pension. Throughout their years as governor, they lived on the state. And emphasis, like I said, should be on the commoners. There are quite many people who are still queuing to receive their paltry pension. For Christ's sake, let us remember those who have spent spent the better part of their life serving this country. They too deserve a respite. Let's do that. Let us do that. The emphasis to me should not be on governors. I'm not saying they don't need something. The commoners need more. They are choking. Let us help the commoners.
Okay. Just recently, former Governor Otumba Gbenga Daniels rejected his own pension because he won election in the Senate. So he said this particular money that comes to me should stop. But over time, I've not really had any other governor that have come out to say something like that.
Well, if Otumba Gbenga Daniel did that, that is what he should do, and that is the right thing to do. And we should thank him for being conscientious and for being compassionate. Other governors should follow suit. That is the right thing to do.
Okay, that is the right thing to do. Now, let's touch Nigeria junta, what is happening in Nigeria Republic a little bit. ECOWAS rejects junta's 3-year transition plan. This one, they are making demands 3 years. Is that not a very long period of time?
We should approach this Niger fiasco in a more matured way, because the drumbeat of war is getting louder, and I don't think we can afford that now. The junta giving 3 years as the minimum time needed to transit to democracy is, to me, a bit long. Absalom Abubakar, within 9 months, transited from the military, and we had a good seamless transition from the military to democracy. That was in 1999. Almost 9 months. So what will you be doing in 3 years? 3 years to me is a long time. It's very long. But at that, even at that, I will not advocate that ECOWAS should go to war. They should still dialogue. They should use diplomacy. They should use sanctions. And I still insist, and I am pleading that do not let us go to war. That is not an option.
Okay, that is not an option. War, some people say Georgia is better than war. All right, there's no other way than a way of peace. A way of peace is actually the best way to go, so that we cut down on the expenses. War swallows money a lot, and you don't even know when it's going to end. So let's just leave it at that, and then go straight to this particular one on ministers. MPAN congratulates Edu Idris. Everybody is talking about Wale Edu. It's like he's coming up with this magic wand. Like he's going to shake up a lot of things. So what do you think? A lot of expectations.
Well, you see, what affects everyone now is the state of the economy. All of us are affected, and all of us are inflicted. And because we are looking for somebody who will bail us out, who will cushion the effect, who will bring the balm, the olive balm, that is what we need. And given this man's track record, we believe, we hope, and we pray that he will deliver. That is the expectation of most Nigerians, that this man, with all that has been said about him, and given his antecedent, will deliver. I pray he does.
Okay, Nigerians pray he does. Okay, now they said average daily petrol consumption drops by 16.8% to 52 meter per liter. Okay, this one is coming from NMDPRA. Let's just read the first paragraph of that story and see. It says, I know what it's saying. Okay, it says petrol consumption in the country dropped by 16.8% in July 2023 to 52 million liters daily, compared to to 64.96 million liters. Okay, liters recorded in June. Data from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has shown. So it's expected people no longer buy full tank these days, and don't you think it will have a lot to do with our economy when people are not buying much, are not consuming more of this commodity? It will definitely have a lot to do with what we generate as our IGR.
What do you expect when the purchasing power of Nigerians has really dwindled, and people are now prioritizing? Quite many people don't even go out with their car in their cars again. They go by public transport, and they only go to places that are important. We have learned, and I think sense is coming in more now, and people now know that you only do or spend on what is right. People prioritize, and I think that is the sensible thing to do. But my concern is this: the money realized from this removal of subsidy should be channeled into profitable use, social infrastructure, roads, education, health, and what have you, in such a manner that Nigerians will heave a sigh of relief. The hardship in the land is too much. We keep on telling the government, and we will continue to tell the government, that only those who are alive will enjoy. Let Nigerians be alive.
All right, we have this one that is talking about our debt profile, up to 410% in 8 years. Do you feel like fuel subsidy removal and the savings from it will help to pay off some of these debts?
The concern of most Nigerians has always been, what is this money spent on? Debt, piling up debt for even future generations to pay. Debt in itself and by itself is not bad. Borrowing in itself by itself is not bad. The question is, borrowing to do what? If you are borrowing to consume, that is not the way to go. I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should institute a panel to look into the genuineness of all these debts, and please bring those who are responsible for this reckless borrowing to book. We need to do things differently.
All right, but let's finish up with this particular, then we'll open up our phone lines so that you can be part of the conversation this morning. Let's just read out this one that says, World Mosquito Day. Reps urge FG to declare state of emergency on malaria. It's high time. Like Nigeria